Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Gorgeous day out on Lake Ontario over at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays and Phillies will wrap up a 3-game series. It'll be the last game of early play 2011. Phillies have won the first 2 games. They are a hot-hitting ball club, especially late in this series. Rollins, Polanco, Utley, top of the order. Placido Polanco has just been named to the All-Star team. He'll start at third base. Ryan Howard, Shane Victorino, Ben Francisco gets their start back in left field. Dominic Brown, the youngster in right, Carlos Ruiz, and Wilson Valdez will play third base here this afternoon.
Jojo Reyes looking for his first career victory versus the Philadelphia Phillies. He has had 4 starts versus the Phillies. He's 0-3. He's also looking for his 4th win of the season. Moving on that last time out to the mound, season high 6 earned runs on 9 hits, just 3 2/3 innings against Pittsburgh. And there are JoJo's numbers as he makes his 17th start of the season.
They are set for play. Jimmy Rollins will lead things off and takes the first pitch strike. Rollins a couple of hits. He also walked and scored. He stole a base and drove in a run yesterday. Fouls it back. Reyes is ahead 0-2.
And he played his usual very solid defense for the Philadelphia Phillies. 3-time Gold Glove winner. Spark plug at the top of that lineup.
Popped it up. Shallow center field. Hill finding the sun. Davis, boy, he had a long way to go.
Defensively for the Blue Jays this afternoon, playing behind Jojo Reyes, you see Rajai Davis. He'll be joined in the outfield by Juan Rivera and Eric Thames. Edwin Encarnacion will get the start at first base, his 8th of the season. Jose Bautista and John McDonald on the left side of the infield. Johnny Mack getting the start because of the injury to Yuno Escobar, his 12th start at shortstop this year. And Javier Ancibia behind the plate.
Jose Bautista has done a good job making a quick transition back to third base. Had a couple of good plays when he went in the hole at third in yesterday's game. All-Star Placido Polanco just been named the starter to the National League team at third base, his 2nd All-Star appearance.
He's had good averages against left-handed pitching this year. He's tied for 5th in the National League with hits against lefties.
Pops this one over near the seats and back in, out of play.
He's had a very good series also for Philadelphia versus the Blue Jays. He's done a little bit of everything.
He handles the bat very well, and as we've talked about throughout the series, he's one of the rare hitters in big league baseball that chokes up on the bat. Jojo Reyes, Pat mentioned, had a rough outing last time out. He went up against the Pittsburgh Pirates, lasted just 3 2/3, gave up a season high 6 earned runs.
You know, if you watch that game, there were a lot of chinkers and clunkers that were hit off the end of the bat, or he would jam some of the Pirate hitters. Didn't throw the ball all that poorly. It just didn't have a whole lot of luck that day.
Alex Presley hit a home run off him in the 3rd inning, a 2-run shot. 1-2, 1 out. We've seen Polanco do this throughout the series. Tough to strike out.
We'll see a lot of pitchers at the plate. We'll foul off a lot of pitchers' pitches. Waiting for his chance. 2nd hardest player to strike out in the National League.
And that's why. Short and quick to the ball, he protects the strike zone. Something you don't say that often anymore, but that's what his goal is. Jose Reyes of the Mets only strikes out once every 14.6 at bats. Polanco right behind him at 13 at bats per strikeout. 1-2. Lays off the high pitch.
You can see what Polanco does, even against the left-hander, and the success that he has had against the lefties. When he gets to 2 strikes, just shuts out the left side of the field. It's a
great approach. Frustrating for pitchers, too. Reyes has gone up, down, in and out, and Polanco has spoiled all those 2-strike pitches.
And he's gone hard fastball, soft, hard, soft. Also thinking right back through the middle.
Pops this one up. It's playable in center field. Rajai Davis. 2 outs. Middle of the order has really created problems for the Blue Jays pitchers in this series. When you look at Utley, Howard, and Victor Reno, they have worn out the Blue Jays.
Production also from these 3. Combined runners in scoring position, 7 RBIs between the 3 of them. Ryan Howard, big RBI man. He got the game winner the first night. Chase Utley got the game winner the second game.
Utley had a 2-run home run in the 7th inning off Luis Perez. Difference in the ball game. JP Arancibia was talking about that at bat to Utley. They had thrown a couple of pitches inside, and Perez left the breaking ball over the plate with 2 strikes. And he was looking breaking ball.
You could tell that on the 1-1 pitch that he took from Perez, that he was just kept that front shoulder in and just really sitting on it. Had the bad hack against the fastball the previous pitch before the home run, and then was all over that slider that was in the middle of the plate.
2-0. Takes a fastball. That's one thing that young JP Arancibia is going to learn more and more as he continues to grow behind the plate. When he sees what you were talking about, a hitter looking for a particular pitch, he won't let his pitcher throw it.
Going to have to command it, just like he is right now. Something hard in.
3-1. 2 outs in the first. A couple of fly ball outs for Reyes. There's that cutter that finds the outside corner.
It's been a good pitch for JoJo Reyes this year. Using that against the left-handers to keep it away from him. Keep him off that fastball.
Phillies are a tough team during the daytime. They're 20-7. That's the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball. The Yankees and the Red Sox, the only teams that have better records during day games. This is their 4th straight day game. Bouncing ball, and Encarnacion has it. Reyes is out of the first. Jose Bautista votes ever by any Major League player for the All-Star game. And the video board here at Rogers Center acknowledged that great accomplishment. He will start in right field for the American League. Blue Jays lineup: Aaron Hill, Eric Thames, and Jose Bautista top of the order. Bautista with his 26th home run yesterday against Roy Halladay. Adam Lind is the DH. Juan Rivera, Edwin Encarnacion makes his first start at first since May 16th. Aaron Rajai Davis and John McDonald will face Cliff Lee. That lineup is brought to you by TD. Banking can be this comfortable.
And the Blue Jays have had success versus left-handed pitchers this year. 282 team batting average. They've hit 25 home runs, but they haven't seen anybody like this guy in the role that he is on.
Bounce to third. Valdez backed up, and Aaron Hill is safe. Wilson Valdez let that ball play him, and it proved costly.
Yeah, you got to make a decision if you are playing the infield. Do you charge or do you lay back? Valdez starts to charge, then realizes it's going to be an in-between hop. Backs off of it, and Hill, thinking, get on any way I can, puts his head down, sees that it's booted by Valdez, and beats it out. It will be an error for Valdez, his 5th of the season.
Eric Thames lifts it high and deep to center field. Hill goes halfway. Victorino catches it, and Hill will retreat to first.
Good start for the Jays as they get their first runner on against Cliff Lee. Lee's number is outstanding. Scattered 2 hits, 2 walks, 3rd straight complete game shutout. Last time up, they had a no-hitter through 5 innings. Marco Scudero's leadoff single in the 6th broke that up. Threw 112 pitches, 71 of them for strikes.
Jose Bautista, who's homered in 5 of his last 10 games. Good cut on that first pitch from Lee.
Bautista, the first Blue Jay to be voted in as the starter for Toronto since Delgado in 2003.
Off the end of the bat. Utley out. Dominic Brown, the right fielder, comes in and makes the catch.
Defensively, one of the best in all of baseball. 36 errors, the fewest in the major leagues for the Phillies coming into this game. They'll be charged with 1 already. Francisco Victorino and Dominic Brown in the outfield. Valdez with his 4th start at third base. He gives Polanco the day off, gets him off his feet. Jimmy Rollins at shortstop, 3rd in the National League in fielding percentage. Utley and Howard very good on the right side. And Carlos Ruiz, one of the best behind the plate this afternoon.
Adam Lind, the DH. John Fair wanted to get Lind just off his legs for half a game. After this game, the Blue Jays will go to Boston, play a day game tomorrow, and then 6 straight games before the first half break at the All-Star game break.
Part of a 17 straight game run that the Blue Jays are in right now. So not a bad idea to use some of your bench players, get some guys off their feet a little bit, at least half a day as the DH.
It's a foul ball, and Hill got a great jump. Ed Hickox, the home plate umpire, wasn't very demonstrative with his call. The ball kind of bounced around. Nobody said much, but eventually he raised his hands up to indicate foul ball.
Great jump by Aaron Hill. He has been thrown out this year. Let's see right here where it hits him.
It hit him in the back behind his body. It was kind of funny how that barrel was tilted back behind his shoulder, and it raised his hands up, but it caught the barrel. 0-2. Cut on and missed. Cliff Lee has a very quick inning. 1-2-3 in the first. He erases that error by the 3rd baseman. starters for the All-Star game out in Arizona in the outfield. Brian Braun, Matt Kemp, and how about Lance Berkman? What a bounce-back season he's had.
Certainly second in the National League in home runs with 21. Berkman is also in the top 5 in RBIs. Matt Kemp leading in home runs and total bases. Jose Reyes, though, the numbers are just jumping off the board. 15 triples in the first half for Reyes. He's also scored 65 runs, which leads the National League.
Ricky Weeks, Prince Fielder, and Brian McCann round out the starters. 3 Milwaukee Brewers starting in the National League. Joey Votto and Russell Martin, 2 Canadians, also made the All-Star team. Joey Votto, of course, with Cincinnati, having another fine season.
We'll be saying that for the next, what, 10 or 12 years? About this time of the year?
Another All-Star appearance for Joey Votto.
Easily.
Votto is 7th in the National League in hitting at .316. Ryan Howard goes too far on that breaking ball, and we've seen a lot of that. Just can't identify ball or strike, especially on the breaking ball.
Yeah, and that's the cutter it looked like from JoJo Reyes, a pitch that he has added this year, and it's made him a little bit tougher on the right-handers. That's the breaking ball. The left-handers coming into this game against JoJo Reyes hitting .298, so he had to figure out some other type of pitch to get it off that swing plane.
2-2. Missed downstairs. Left-handers that generally don't get left-handed hitters out don't command that down and away strike as frequently as they'd like. That's always a problem, and then the inside becomes a non-factor. Reached 4 and lifted into center. Rajai Davis has been busy early on.
3 fly ball outs for Rajai Davis out of the first 4 batters. Scouting report for JoJo Reyes is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. He needs to pitch off his fastball. I think he has to establish that in the minds of the Philly hitters so he can use his off-speed stuff to get him out. He's got the improving cutter. We've seen that already. And he needs to get out the right-handers. 9 of the 11 home runs he has given up this year have been to the right-handed batters, and they're hitting .295 against them.
Shane Victorino, the switch hitter, batting right-handed. We mentioned 2, 3, and 4 having a great series, and Victorino's done a job. He got the base hit in the 9th inning yesterday for that insurance run that led to the ejection of John Roush and John Farrell. 2-out base hit to left field. Bang, bang play at the plate. Chase Utley beat the throw. Roush had thought that he had Ryan Howard struck out on a couple close pitches in the at-bat before Victorino. There's another base hit for Victorino, and it'll go all the way down into the corner, and it's touched by a fan. It will be a ground rule double for Victorino.
Such a better hitter average-wise from the right side. He's a switch hitter. And in this series, he's faced a couple of left-handers, and now this will be his 6th hit in the series alone. Takes that cut fastball and rips it into the corner in left field. An outside chance of making it to third base with his speed, but the fan touches it, so he's got to stop at second. 6 hits now for Victorino in this series.
Ben Francisco started on Friday afternoon. Hit a pair of doubles and drove in 2. That was against Ricky Romero. Romero started that game. Francisco hit the first double in the 2nd inning. There's a base hit to center field. Victorino's got good wheels, and the throw to the plate is late. Phillies again take an early lead.
Ben Francisco, when he was with the Cleveland Indians, you could just tell that he was going to be a big league hitter. He's got a short swing. He takes what the pitcher gives you. 2nd on this club in game-winning RBIs. Shows you the type of clutch hitter he is. Takes this one down and away from him, right back where it came from. Classic. Watch how short that swing is. And he'll hit for a high average in his career with that type of swing.
His 31st RBI as Victorino comes across and scores. 1-0 Phillies. Dominic Brown. Brown, the right fielder. Just 36 games. We've talked about the hamate bone he fractured in spring training. Delayed his start to the season. There's another base hit into center field. 3 hits in the inning against JoJo Reyes. Francisco stops at second.
3 of them in a row that time. The pitch was up. Brown is 6'6", so you've got to get the ball down where he can reach it. Where he can't reach it, that time it's right in the middle of the plate, about belt high. Make those tall players reach for the ball.
Anytime that ball is up in the zone, much easier to see as well, and JoJo has to make some adjustments here early. Carlos Ruiz has caught all 3 games in this series, all day games. This is, as we mentioned, the 4th Philly day game in a row. They played the Boston Red Sox on Thursday afternoon at home. Upstairs. Blue Jays will play 4 straight day games. They'll have a day game tomorrow in Boston against the Red Sox. Murray's just 179 with runners in scoring position. Boy, the Phillies are patient. Very, very reminiscent of what we see when we play the Yankees. A lot of patient hitters, a lot of tough outs. Guys don't strike out an awful lot.
They've had the fewest strikeouts in the National League. As a team, 515 times they have gone down swinging, which is the fewest in the National League. But they have a good idea at the plate. And you can just watch them make adjustments from pitch to pitch, from at bat to at bat.
And right now, Aaron Seve and Reyes have to figure out how they can get back in the strike zone. Victorino 1-out double, followed by back-to-back singles, Francisco and Dominic Brown, and the Phillies have taken a 1-0 lead.
If you're going to take a lot of pitches, you can't be afraid to hit with 1 strike or 2 strikes, and that's one thing that we have seen from these Philly hitters this whole series. Shane Victorino's not afraid to hit with 1 strike. He's not afraid to take a pitch here and there. Ruiz the same way. Francisco, Utley, Polanco. I mean, it goes up and down the lineup. That's a sign of a very good veteran hitting ball club.
Good cut on that fastball. Ruiz fouled it off. Also, what you see with this ball club is they don't panic late in the ball game. They have scored 7 runs in the 7th inning or later in this series.
I think there's an art to hitting late in the game when the pressure is on. Tampa Bay does it really well, and Boston and in New York, the Phillies, they do it well. They just have an idea when they go to the plate late in the game.
Foul back. And they really elevate your pitch count. They make you work. JoJo Reyes up to 37 pitches already. Charlie Manuel was a hitting coach. Loved to talk hitting. Now he sits back and admires some of the veteran hitters that he has put together here. There's a drive toward the gap in right center. Rajai Davis is not going to get it. It's all the way up against the wall and over the wall. A ground rule double. Dominic Brown was all the way around third base. He'll have to go back as Francisco scores the 2nd run. 4 straight hits for the Phillies.
You know, Dominic Brown read that ball very well at first base, and he took off. He was actually around second base, about halfway between 2nd and 3rd when that ball hit in the outfield. This ball is up and out over the plate again, a place where Ruiz can handle it. And Brown, the runner at first base, takes off, reads it with those long strides. Again, he is around second base when that ball hit. Blue Jays catch a break right here because they have to send him back. Watch where the ball hit. He is right there. I don't know if that's a judgment call by the umpires or not, but he could have scored easily.
Now he has to go back 2 bases on the ball that bounces out. When there's a fan interference obstruction call, that's when the umpires can, in their judgment, place the base runners where they think they may have ended up. Wilson Valdez getting the start at third base. This is popped up. Encarnacion shading his eyes from a bright sun. Hangs with it and makes the catch. Second out of the inning.
That's a big one right there. You got to figure that runs are going to be hard to come by this afternoon against Cliff Lee. So the infielder was in. JoJo Reyes gets the pop up from Valdez. That is what the infielders and outfielders will be looking at when the ball goes up.
Very bright sunny day here at Rogers Center. Been beautiful all weekend long. There's the 40 pitch mark we talked about, and Reyes has pitched an inning and 2/3. 2 on, 2 outs. Back to the top of the order, Jimmy Rollins. First pitch swinging, drills it into right field. Carlos Ruiz comes in, Thames bobbles it, and Ruiz scores early, easily behind Dominic Brown. A 4-run Philly inning.
They hit with runners on base. They hit with 2 outs. And it's just a simple approach at the plate. Don't try and do too much with the ball. Just hit it where it's pitched. They've got players like that up and down this lineup. Ball that is away, again up by JoJo Reyes. Actually out of the strike zone. But Jimmy Rollins, soft single into right field. Scores 2 more.
First pitch strike. Reyes has been up in the middle of the plate all afternoon.
When he is good, he really gets on top of the ball and drives it down in the strike zone. Right now, he just hasn't been able to find that release point.
Polanco doing his thing again, and you can see Aaron Sebia motioning to Reyes to get that ball down. Once again, the first 2 pitches in this at bat, according to pitch tracks, up and out over the plate. Danger zone. Popped up into center field. Davis is there. The Phillies are finally retired here in the second inning, but they put up a 4 spot against JoJo Reyes. 5 hits in the inning. Cliff Lee an early lead.
Scouting report, strike after strike. That is what you are going to get from Cliff Lee. He will fill up that strike zone, bring out the curveball early in the game. It's cutter, fastball, change, and then here comes the curveball later in the game, throwing it a little bit more frequently. Finish what you start. 4 complete games already this year for Cliff Lee. That's 2 behind the league leader, Roy Halladay, who we saw yesterday. His job, he says, when I take the mound, I'm going to finish this game.
And he always has the mindset that he's not going to let the other team score. And there's another strike. And Sebia talking to the professor of catching, Jose Molina, trying to figure out some way to get Jojo Reyes down on his own.
Fill her up.
Boy, he pounds that strike zone. Juan Rivera's in a hole of 1-2.
Rivera's had good numbers against Cliff Lee in his career. He has taken him deep 3 times in 21 at-bats.
Upstairs, like a surgeon. Couple in, 1 up and away for the strikeout. Second strikeout for Lee.
Every pitch that you see that Cliff Lee uses is thrown with a purpose. In and in, and then out and away. And how about those numbers? He's thrown 11 total pitches, every one of them in the strike zone.
Get it ready. Edwin Encarnacion. There's a ball. We jinxed him. Encarnacion starting at first. We mentioned he is making his first start at first base since May 16th. Popped it back. Cliff Lee got the final out of the first inning. Adam Lynn struck out. With that, he moves into the second spot on the Phillies' all-time list of consecutive innings pitched without allowing a run. Grover Cleveland Alexander has the record with 41 consecutive scoreless innings.
And the guy he just passed is here at the ballpark.
Larry Anderson, a relief pitcher and guy that has been able to put up numbers, been a long-time broadcaster for. There's Larry for the Phillies, sporting that World Series ring. Big curveball, strike 3. That thing just kept breaking and breaking. Encarnacion thought it came around the outside corner.
You know what? You better not give up on it, because it will bend in. That's what I mean, that he will go cutter, he'll go fastball, he'll go changeup, and then he'll bend this one in. And as a right-hander, you can't give up on it. It is actually in the middle of the plate.
Two outs. J.P. Sebia. All right, changeup. And he literally throws all of his pitches in time, and he throws them to both sides of the plate. And Sebia slipped down to 219.
I was talking to Adam Lynn today about Lee, and he has faced him before. And I asked him, does he remind you of anybody? He reminds me, he said, of Mike Mussina, because he's so unpredictable of what he is going to do when he is pitching. He'll go cutter, indoor, back door, front door. He'll go curveball. He'll go change. You just have no idea what he's going to do.
Now he has refined his mechanics to the point where he can repeat his delivery. And there's a little cutter right inside on Aaron Sebia. Month of June was incredible for Cliff Lee. 5-0 with a minuscule ERA at 0.21. Opponents at just 151 against him.
Only 6 other starting pitchers went 5-0 or better with an ERA that low in a calendar month in the history of baseball. Fernando Valenzuela did it. Nolan Ryan did it. Mike Witt, Oral Hershiser, of course.
Pop back out of play. The Phillies, as a team, had a great month of June. ERA was under 2, and that's the first time a team has had an ERA under 2 since the '92 season, when both the Atlanta Braves and the Chicago Cubs did it. The starters were terrific. Cole Hamels has been just every bit as good as Halladay and Lee, if not better. Full count, 2 outs. And he's not a real flamethrower by any means, and he doesn't light up the radar gun. 92. He'll pitch right around 89, 92, kind of like Halladay. But boy, they just fill up the strike zone.
Yeah, they filled it up, and they'll change speeds. That's the thing that I like to watch when I'm watching these two pitchers throw that day. The change in the miles per hour of their pitches. One fastball will be 84, the next one will be 93.
Cut on and missed. 88 miles an hour with late movement. Cliff Lee strikes out 4 in a row. Juan Rivera starting the second inning. Chases a high fastball. Edwin Encarnacion caught looking at a Lee curveball. Aaron Sebia chases the cutter down. That he set a record for all-star votes. He will be in Arizona at Chase Field for the 2011 MLB Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. Rogers Sportsnet will have all the coverage July 11th and 12th. Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn will be on site to break it down for you. And Bautista has already said he will indeed participate in the Home Run Derby.
How can you say no to Captain Ortiz?
Big Papi called him up and asked him personally if he would participate, and something new, the reigning champ David Ortiz will captain the American League team, and the 2009 Home Run Derby champ Prince Fielder will captain the National League team. I think it's a good little twist. Oftentimes players are reluctant to participate, but when an all-star captain and a former Home Run Derby champ calls you, it's hard to resist.
Yeah, you can't say no. You just can't. So that should be a lot of fun to watch Bautista in the thin air of Phoenix.
Now, we saw Edwin Encarnacion put on a show there last year during interleague play. Hit 5 in the series. Chase Utley in a hole. Fights off that inside fastball. Aaron Sebia went to school on him yesterday.
He learned from him yesterday. The left-handed pitcher Perez with 2 strikes. He went breaking ball, and Utley homered against him. That time with 2 strikes went right back in there, and it was a half swing by Chase Utley.
Now, does Utley change or does Reyes change?
Utley. I'm forcing him to change right now. I'm pounding him in there one more time.
Same results. Difference in the swing yesterday against Luis Perez.
This one out over the plate. 2-strike breaking ball, and he was sitting on it. Kept that front shoulder in, kept his hands back, and that's why he has hit more home runs than any second baseman over the last 7 seasons.
Well, he's got a quick bat too, and that 2-strike approach even allowed him to hit a home run short and quick, and he got that breaking ball up in the zone. Staying in there. Quite a battle. Who blinks first?
We will watch and see.
It's not Utley. He's going to stay with his approach, looking for the ball out over the plate and fighting off that inside strike. Quite a battle. Interesting swing too, and you can see it's a very defensive swing. All he's trying to do is cover that inside corner. Now he's saying, JP, you're going to stay in there? I'm going to stay in there till you hit it.
This is where I think 1 and 2, with that type of defensive swing, you throw one out of the strike zone. See if he'll chase it.
He got him to chase, and he threw it down and away. And Utley grounds out to second. One out here. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update. Shelley Duncan just recalled from the minor leagues. Now about Cleveland. Boy, they went into a little bit of a slide, and now they're a game and a half back in front of the Tigers. They've won 3 in a row, trying to make it a sweep. Ryan Howard pops it up. Bautista was way over. He's got a long run, calling for it in foul territory. What a play. That play was much like one he would make in the outfield.
That's exactly what I was thinking. He was the perfect guy to go and run that one down. Look where he starts from, right behind second base. So this is just a fly ball, a regular fly ball, like he was playing the outfield. He calls off Juan Rivera and runs it down.
And you can see he motioned with his hands. Rivera could see that, and he peeled back and gave Bautista all the room he needed. 2 outs. Shane Victorino has been a thorn in the side of the Blue Jays from either side of the plate. John Farrell brought in Jason Frazier on Friday afternoon to turn Victorino around, and he hit a triple off the wall in center. He's a better right-handed hitter, and they flipped him around, and sure enough, he delivers.
It didn't matter. We talked to John the next day after that, and he said, well, one of the first things he said to us is, boy, that Victorino's a good player, isn't he? Tough to pitch to because he's a switch hitter. He's got speed, gold glove center fielder.
And he knows what he is as a hitter. He doesn't try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Once in a while, he'll knock one out. But he is all about getting a good pitch to hit and staying in a big part of the diamond.
Get on base. That's his whole game. A 370 on base percentage, and that's going to grow after that 4-pitch walk.
Been on twice this afternoon. 2-out walk. Victorino thought that last pitch was a strike. He was really waiting for the right hand to go up.
Pitch Tracks agrees with Shane Victorino, but he will take the walk. And you got to watch him over at first base.
Off-speed pitch. Picked up the RBI in that stretch of 4 straight hits. Phillies scored 4 runs on 5 hits in the second. Bouncing ball to third. Bautista takes the short hop, keeps his feet moving, and throws Francisco out. The Phillies are retired in the third. 4-0 Philadelphia. Bumped it up to 34, and these are the scoreless streaks this season.
Cliff Lee leads everybody. Hole mentor Venters 2 and 3 on that list. Venters the reliever. Cliff Lee 34 consecutive scoreless innings. He's climbing up the ladders all time.
He is second in the Phillies franchise history for longest consecutive scoreless streak. The great Grover Cleveland Alexander did it in 1911. That ball's got a chance to get in the gap, and it will. It'll bounce off the wall. Rajai Davis can fly. Brown had trouble picking it up. Davis will get to third base. A leadoff triple here in the third against Cliff Lee, his 6th triple of the season.
Had one taken away from him the other night when he drove a ball into the gap in left center field, and it bounced out of play. And he had to stop at second base, but no chance for bouncing out here. Fastball up and away by Davis. And as soon as he sees right there, he can tell that that ball is going to get down. So he's thinking 3. Comes around first, takes one more look at where the ball is and makes it easily without a throw into third base.
Great opportunity to get on the board. Third base, nobody out. John McDonald takes the first pitch strike. You can see Cliff Lee is not worried about any consecutive scoreless streak. He just came back with strike 1.
Yeah, and neither are the Phillies. They're playing the infield back in a 4-0 game in the third inning. They're thinking about the win.
Breaking ball, and that will score Davis. McDonald grounds out. Davis comes in to score. The scoreless streak is over at 34 innings. John McDonald delivers.
Pretty impressive stuff for Cliff Lee.
Rajai Davis leadoff triple. John McDonald's grounder to short. It's a 4-1 game.
There are all kind of records about shutouts in months and things like that. We talked about Lee's 3 in this month. Don Drysdale had 5 shutouts in 1 month of May of 1968. In 1 month, 5 shutouts. Bob Gibson did the same thing, and Orel Hershiser had 5 also in September of '88.
What were their pitch counts?
I didn't look that far, but I bet you it was like, 90.
They were dealing. Drysdale's record was a lot like DiMaggio's record of consecutive games with a hit. Everybody kind of felt that was untouchable, but Hershiser broke it.
That was the last year where the mound was 15 inches before they lowered it. Gibson, that was his great year too, the 1.12. He had 5 shutouts in a month.
Career against Cliff Lee, Rajai Davis has done a number. 5 for 9. The leadoff triple has led to the Blue Jays' first run. Jose Bautista had a great quote when everybody kept asking about Halladay and Lee. Halladay and Lee, what are you going to do against Halladay and Lee? And he said, hey, they only throw 1 baseball at a time. It's not like they're a pitching machine and 2 of them come at you. 1 baseball at a time. I thought that was a great quote, and certainly Bautista held up his end of the bargain with a home run off Halladay.
You love watching those kind of confrontations between great pitchers and great hitters in big parts of the ball game. That was late yesterday against Halladay.
Tied the game up at 1-1 in the 4th. Good curveball. Hill strikes out. That curveball just seems like it keeps on breaking.
It starts way away from the right-handers, and it comes swooping in. You got to really stay back on that and track it. Cliff Lee picks up his 5th strikeout with it.
Lee was drafted 3 times out of high school in the 8th round by Florida. Baltimore took him out of junior college in the 20th round in '98, and then the Expos finally convinced him to sign. Signed as a 4th round pick with Montreal in June of 2000. Eric Thames flew out to center his first time up. Base hit. Center field. Good place to stay. Lefty on lefty. Thames goes right back up the middle. That extends his hit streak
You know, we've been talking about good hitters hitting good pitchers. Well, we saw Eric Thames get a couple of hits yesterday against Roy Halladay. And now in his second at-bat against Lee, he gets himself his first hit.
Thames and Bautista have had a good series. Thames 5 for 10, Bautista 4 for 8 with a couple of home runs. Thames had a monster home run in the opener. And against Kyle Kendrick and hit up above the second deck. Thames now with a 9-game hit streak. Lee gives you pitches to hit. 327 for Bautista. That's the impressive part. Boy, you talk about going to an all-star game. He's got all-star credentials across the board.
26 home runs. He also has 70 base on balls. That hasn't happened in the American League since Jason Giambi in 2003, where a hitter had 26 homers and 70 walks.
And again, 92, just up tab.
Yeah, he will give you pitches to hit, but not very often. So you better take advantage of it when you get one. He'll move it in and out, up, down, pull a string on you if you have to.
And dropped the curveball. Bautista didn't like the call. He's talking it over with Ed Hickox at home, but Cliff Lee through 3 innings has 6 strikeouts. That big bending curveball got Aaron Hill in here. It gets Bautista. Strikeout was against Jose Bautista. Bautista didn't like the call and stood at home plate for a while, but watch Cliff Lee.
He comes off the mound and it looks like he's yelling at Bautista like, that ball is right there. I've got a strikeout. Maybe you want to swing the bat.
A little throwback Cliff Lee. That happened all the time. Bautista thought it was low. Now we are joined in the booth by the Director of the Canadian Hall of Fame, Tom Bach. Tom, great to see you. Tell you what brings you to Toronto today.
Well, today we've got the Kids on Deck camp. 60 kids that are up in bright yellow shirts and on the Jumbotron. They're at the Hall of Fame for a week.
Bautista over near the wall makes a nice catch. Yeah, you're a baseball guy, Tom. You know when to lay out. So they're at the Hall of Fame. They have a clinic. They have camps. And
we have a beautiful 32-acre site and fantastic instructors. Last year, some of your old buddies, Gruber, Fernandez, and Alomar, all came in and gave these guys a dose. Jim Fanning comes annually, and they are 24/7. They sleep, eat, and breathe baseball, and have a lot of fun during the meeting.
How often do you do it during the course of the summer?
Last year we actually did it 3 weeks because we had some grants and we were able to bring some at-risk youths from Toronto, which was really special, and make a more diverse group. This year we didn't get the grants, so we're at about 60 this time.
You just got finished with your 2011 induction ceremonies. Tom Henke was pretty good when he made his acceptance speech.
I haven't heard any better in the 10 years I've been there, and all he had was a business card type thing with some bullet points, and he's just a country boy. I don't know. You guys may wind up both in the Hall of Fame, but you tell me, could you get a bus from your hometown 1,200 kilometers away to come up and watch?
I know I could.
That's incredible. But, you know, I know Taos, Missouri, and he used to say Taos is a small town outside of Jefferson City. I said, Tom, Jefferson City is a small town.
The one light town, right? Yeah. We used to talk about that.
No, it's a great honor, and I know everybody was in town to support him. Pat Gillick and Paul Beast and everybody came up for that event.
They did, and you know, the Blue Jays are always great supporters. And imagine Gillick coming in this year where his calendar's fairly full, but that's the kind of person Henke was. I mean, yes, he's a small town boy. Yes, he was the Terminator. Yet there's this big hulking teddy bear inside of that body, which I had never met the man before this weekend. So it was a treat.
I think he had more to do with the turnaround of the organization than anybody else when he came in mid-season in '85 and just established that the Blue Jays could win.
Well, it takes something special to be a closer, and he's the first one to admit it. And it's a long story, but in a nutshell, here we go, double play. You're going to kick me out of here.
Just like that. No, we'll have you stay around another half inning. We know you've got a lot of time, and we'll get back here. But the Blue Jays get a nice double play off the bat of Wilson Valdez. Middle of the fourth, 4-1 Phillies. Hall of Famer baseball camp that takes a week, and they get a lot of good instruction, get a chance to play a little bit, I would imagine, too. And we're joined by director of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, Tom Balkin. Tom, that's got to be a great opportunity for the kids to get together and have that kind of organized instruction.
It is, and we have beginners, experienced, boys, girls, softball, baseball, and we group them accordingly and teach them. And then every day we take a different topic, a perceived barrier, race, religion, gender, border, language. Those 5 days we use Hall of Fame stories like Fergie Jenkins and Jackie Robinson on the race day to teach kids that those differences are only perceived, so that it's a lot easier to teach that to children than to try to uproot intolerance in adults, as you know.
In Major League Baseball, the players got involved a little bit, you were telling us.
Last year they gave us $56,000, the Tomorrow Fund, which is a joint effort between the players and the commissioner's office, and Greg Sorbera and some friends matched it.
Adam Lynn lifts it into center field, but Victor Reno's got plenty of speed, and he runs it down in the gap.
So they matched it. What type of things can you do with that kind of money?
Well, the first thing we're going to do with those types of donations is bring inner city kids who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to afford it's about $700 for the week if you're a paid kid, and that's 24 hours sleeping, meals, the shirts, and all those types of things. But those kids won't have those opportunities. So that was a real treat. And the special thing is when we preach tolerance and things like that, those are the kids that these kids need to interact with, so that they can appreciate where they're coming from and find out that they can turn a double play with them as easily as the next guy.
Juan Rivera pops the first pitch back out of play. That's a great opportunity anytime, and I know that the Blue Jays have always been a great supporter of the Canadian Hall of Fame in general, and they're always down there to St. Mary's, Ontario, to help you guys out.
We we don't exist without the Jays, and it's not Rogers or the Blue Jays' responsibility to run the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. But I'll tell you what, if they don't answer our calls, we're not in business.
If there are campers out there watching the game now, how can they get a hold of you to maybe join next year?
They can. Our website is baseballhalloffame.ca. It's very simple, or you can Google it and find us. We'll even take kids this week. You know us, Pat. Our cash register is always open.
We don't have to wait for next year, right?
The problem this week is that the Jays only play today and they're on the road, so this is the first day of camp. They checked in last night. They're here, and now I got to try to keep the bar this high for 5 days. So you guys maybe come down to St. Mary's and help us out a bit.
The interesting part of the summer, obviously, and tell us what's going on at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame that fans might want to make a trip to St. Mary's beyond the induction that happened in last month.
Well, our biggest issue is getting people to our door. We're kind of out of the way. We're not on the way to anywhere. And people are skeptical. They consider it an oxymoron, many people. A lot of people come there because they go to the Stratford Festival. But the fact is 100% of our guests have their expectations exceeded. I always think we should not charge admission and put a donation box near the door, because that's where they're walking out saying, I can't believe how much Canada had to do with the baseball industry.
Tell us what they would find when they go there.
Any artifact-wise, if you're into those things, we've got Cito Gaston's World Series rings. We've got Gary Carter's Gold Glove. We have a game-used bat by Babe Ruth, who hit his first professional home run in Canada. $1 million worth of stuff from the Expos franchise, and it goes on and on. It's really incredible once you get inside that front door. And then, of course, what's on a 32-acre site that looks like a spring training venue with 3 baseball diamonds. And you can bring your gloves down and play catch with their boy.
Even better. Another fastball from Cliff Lee as he strikes out Juan Rivera for the second time, up and away.
Same spot, looked like a replay of the first at bat. For some reason, Lee's shaking his head a bit, but he threw that fastball right by Rivera.
So, Tom, are you getting ready for next year already?
Yeah, this is the time of year now where we'll kick into, again, grant mode. You know, we're kind of a mom and pop shop. Cooperstown has 80 employees. We have 2. But we know where we are, and we're happy with what we are. But we're right now on a real mission to either acquire a building. There happens to be a school available in St. Mary's, but somehow, some way create a dorm situation so that people not only come to play in St. Mary's, but they will stay in St. Mary's. So it helps our revenue stream a bit, so we're not. These guys, I tell you, if Beeson walks down the hall, he'll turn around and go the other way because he knows I'm going to have my hand out, you know. And they're getting tired of that, I think. So we need to grow up a bit, and that'll help us pay our bills. It'll also help the town of St. Mary's continue to support us, because it'll put feet on the street, and every rural town has that need for economic revitalization. So
I would imagine with the increased number of Canadian major leaguers, that helps as well, just the attention that they have made around Canada with baseball.
You know, there's been 240, but right now there's 20 in the major leagues, and they're not just 20 roster fillers. We're talking about all-stars, Joey Votto and Russ Martin. And we usually talk bats these last few years because of Morneau and Bay, but look at the pitchers this year. Axford, 20 saves. Bedard has got Cy Young numbers right now in his last 14 starts. Dempster's come around. Blake Hawksworth is pitching for the Dodgers. Our pitchers are doing some fine things too. So they're 20 guys, but they're named guys.
And Carnacion pops it up on the infield. Chase Utley going back. Victorino coming from center. Calls, and Utley steps out of his way just in time. Tom Duck, thank you very much. Good luck to you and the kids.
You guys are terrific.
Canadian Hall of Fame.
Always a pleasure.
We appreciate having you here. Thanks a lot, fellas.
4-1 after 4. Now it's time for an update. Here's Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio.
Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Beautiful day in Toronto. Kayaks out on Lake Ontario. How about the dog? Doing a pretty good job of staying quiet. JoJo Reyes had a good inning. Last inning had a double play to end the 4th inning. Only hiccup for Reyes came in the 2nd. Gave up 4 runs on 5 hits.
Got the first batter and then 4 straight hits.
Right to John McDonald. Jimmy Rollins is retired. Take a look at the AL All-Star Team reserves, and top of the list, Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers. Howard Kendrick of the Angels having a good year at second base. Beltre of the Texas Rangers. And Struble Cabrera, he's been instrumental in what the Indians have done. We saw him earlier today. We knew he'd be on this team.
How about Nomar Teixeira with his 25 home runs for the New York Yankees? Paul Konerko also has 21 home runs for the Chicago White Sox. He is missing in action. First base is always the toughest position, I think.
Well, everybody has big power numbers at first base. Adam Lynn certainly could get consideration for the All-Star game. Start of play today. 307, 16 and 49.
Yeah, I mean, those are great numbers that should get him into the talking stages of it. But Nomar Teixeira, that one's a surprise.
Guess they figured you can't take all Yankees. Granderson, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, Russell Martin. And there's going to be pitchers too.
Rivera.
Yeah, Rivera's
Sabathia.
Sabathia going.
Well, there's a reason why they're so hot right now. A lot of great players.
Three and 1 to Polanco. How many times are we going to see this? He hangs tough, doesn't he?
He got a long time to talk when he's at the plate. Here are the pitchers for the American Leaguers, the All-Stars. Beckett, Felix Hernandez, of course, David Price, Gio Gonzalez. Good for him. His ERA is under 3. But did we not see Sabathia?
No CC Sabathia with his 11 wins. Verlander, Jared Weaver, C.J. Wilson of the Rangers. That's an interesting pick as well. He's made a nice transition from reliever. How about Aaron Crow, reliever from Kansas City? Brandon Lake, the former Blue Jay, makes his first All-Star team.
Now Chris Perez,
closer for the Indians.
Didn't he just get taken out of a game for injuries, I thought? So there's a fly ball to center field, will be run down by Rajai Davis. We'll see.
Yeah, it's that's always a concern too. And then you have, of course, pitchers that don't make the team because they're going to pitch. They will make the team. They will take additional pitchers because those starters will start on Sunday.
They have a rule that if you throw on Sunday, you cannot throw in the All-Star game. And I'm wondering if Sabathia is scheduled to pitch the Sunday before the All-Star break.
If that's the case, he should pitch on Tuesday. I don't think he's been named, though. I think for some reason they chose to leave him off. But you look at his numbers, his ERA, he's not in the top 10 in ERA, but he's got 11 wins. So
he has to be named to the team, I would think. So why don't you just name him and then replace him?
Michael Pineda is a 2.65 ERA.
See, I think they're throwing on Sunday. I thought I read an article somewhere that their turn is coming up on that Sunday before. So they would be left off the team.
CC Sabathia, John Lester, both starting on Tuesday, which would put them in line for a Sunday start. But then James Shields starts on Tuesday. He's on the All-Star team. Interesting. We'll keep you up to date. There's also the final vote. That'll take place all the way up to July 7th. You can vote for one player on each team. And you can get online and vote for that at MLB.com. And that will be announced Thursday, July 7th. Boy, this is a familiar scene, isn't it? Pound him inside. JP Aaron Seavey, JoJo Reyes doing a number on Chase Utley crowding him after Utley hit that home run in the game yesterday.
Staying in there, and then when they get ahead, they go away. Got him last time on a pitch that was away.
Left that ball up, looked like a changeup, and Utley hammers it into center. Well, he's good out over the plate.
Yeah, he's got such a good idea at the plate. They were pounding him in, down, and now here's the only pitch that is up. And a good hitter very rarely will miss those pitches.
No, that's a great depiction of where they wanted to pitch Utley and where they made the mistake. So big Ryan Howard, he's 0 for 2. Blue Jays use that exaggerated shift on Ryan Howard, basically the same way they played David Ortiz.
Three infielders on the right side of the infield. Aaron Hill in short right field. And they're going to pound him in.
So if he does hit it and get the barrel out, he's going to hit it to the right side of the diamond. Got him to chase away. Ryan Howard had a big hit in the opener of this series. In the 9th inning, he drove in 2 runs. That gave the Phillies the lead.
He likes this interleague stuff.
There he hits one right through the shift. Chase Utley quickly around second. He's headed for third. Juan Samuel will stop him there.
Sometimes it doesn't matter where you defend them. Good hitters find holes. Kept him in the ballpark, but it's right back through the middle. Up thigh high in the middle of the plate. Rocket right back through the middle, and Utley will take advantage as Rajai Davis runs that one down.
The Phillies now have 8 hits. 5 of those 8 hits came in the 4-run second inning. Here's that guy again. Shane Victorino on base twice.
Yeah, he's always working the count. I don't believe I have seen him in this whole series swing at the first pitch other than at bat. Not afraid to hit with 1 strike. And hitting from the right side where he's about a .340 hitter.
Victorino has been on base 9 times in this series.
6 hits. He's got a walk this afternoon.
Ball and a strike, 2 down. Off speed pitch, and way out in front of him. Ray is trying to keep it a 3-run deficit for the Blue Jays. Cliff Lee has held the Jays on to 1 run on 2 hits. Another changeup. Again, this is where a pitcher has an opportunity to read the bat. He can see that Victorino is way out in front. You want to stay real soft like the changeup or really elevate the fastball. You might chase.
Buzz it inside to him if you have to.
This is popped up. John McDonald is out. Rivera coming on. He calls for it, makes the catch. Phillies get a couple on, but strand 2. JoJo Reyes kept it a 4-1 game. Look at AAA Las Vegas. Travis Snyder has done a number his last 10 games, hitting over 500. The OPS through the roof, 1.383, and he scored 11 runs. Good things are coming out of Travis Snyder now.
He has made the adjustments that the Blue Jays have asked of him. He's opened his stance a little bit more. He is a little bit smoother with his swing. It's a little bit shorter. He is staying on the hitting plane, from what I understand, a little bit better, and that's why his average is so good. Would not surprise to see me. Wouldn't surprise me to see him on this upcoming road trip at some point.
It'd be good to see him, get him back here in the big leagues and let him go to work, reestablish himself as the good hitter we know he can be.
Well, he's done everything that the Blue Jays have asked. He's gone down there to rework his swing, and it worked so far. Set back a little bit with that concussion syndrome after he got hit in the middle of the hat.
JP Arancibia takes that big curveball for a strike. Boy, quite an assortment of pitches that Lee features. Sinks the fastball, cuts the fastball, big bending curveball, and a great changeup.
What do you look for? You know, he doesn't fall into any patterns also. The only way to, I guess you would have to get a little history of how he's pitched you, but they haven't seen him for a couple of years when he was with Cleveland.
Curveball. Arancibia chases it. No tag. The throw to first. 8th strikeout for Cliff Lee here in the 5th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Zach Britton's a pretty good looking pitcher, and now he's got a home run on the back of his baseball card. Came against a pretty good pitcher, Brandon Beachy. We saw him. He struck out 11 Blue Jays in 6 innings.
There was a whole load of pitchers that we were impressed with when we were down in Atlanta. Beachy, who was the left-handed kid that we saw that they've sent down?
Mike Minor.
Mike Minor, that's his name. Yeah.
Yeah, he's back in the minor leagues.
Wow.
There's that changeup. Same delivery, same arm slot from Cliff Lee. And it's very difficult to identify fastball or changeup.
Rajai Davis hit a high fastball his last time up.
Curveball slipped out of his hand.
I doubt that he's going to get that pitch again. He tripled to right center field.
There's a base hit to right. Rajai Davis is 2 for 2. He scored the Blue Jays run.
Makes things happen when he gets on base, and now a chance against Cliff Lee to get himself into scoring position. This was a cutter. Stayed on that one. He'd been pulling off some pitches. That time stayed right on that ball and hit it in the right field.
One out. Davis at first. 18 steals this year. But Cliff Lee didn't give a chance to take a lead.
There are the numbers for Rajai Davis in his career over Cliff Lee. A 600 hitter. Lee is tough to run on. He's given up 3 stolen bases this year, but he's so quick to home.
Boy, Davis didn't have a very good jump there. Looked like it was hit and run. And McDonald fouled it out of play.
You can play hit and run with Cliff Lee because he's going to be around the plate. Not a very high leg kick. Very quick to the plate, so it'll be tough to try and steal on him.
Popped into center. Victorino makes the catch. 2 outs.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
Back to the top of the order for the Blue Jays. Aaron Hill reached on an air and struck out. Cliff does a good job, as you mentioned, shutting down the running game. This is his 18th start. Just 7 attempts. And he's out there a lot. Pitched 126 innings. Only 7 attempts. Tough for good base runners like Davis to get a good read on his move.
Watch how quick he is to home.
Davis got a good jump there. The throw from Ruiz is into the base runner. Number 19 for Rajai Davis. He guessed right with Cliff Lee.
After a throw over to first base and then a step off and a fake over a throw over to first base, Rajai Davis goes on the first movement from Cliff Lee and then steals it. As soon as he sees him move, he's taken off, gambling that he's going to go home.
Scoring position with 2 outs. There he goes to third. No contest. Aaron Hill saw him break at second, just stepped out of the box because he saw he had such a big jump. No chance at all for the catcher.
Number 20, and it's the 11th time he has stolen third base. Huge lead. The middle infielders weren't even worried about him. They were playing normal depth with 2 outs.
Ball on the strike. Two balls and a strike to Aaron Hill. There's a base hit to left field. Davis comes in to score. It's a 2-run game. Rajai Davis has scored both Blue Jays runs.
Did you feel the energy in the building and on the team go up a little bit when he got on base? First he steals second, then he steals third, making the job a little bit easier for the hitter. Looked like a pitch that was away from Aaron Hill. He hits it in the left field to drive in his 31st run of the season. Davis trots in. It's now 4-2.
Eric Thames singled his last time up to extend his hit streak to 9 games. He's hit lefties. He's hit right-handers. First major league home run came against the left-hander Paul Maholm. He threw that breaking ball right at him, trying to catch the inside corner. Moreno backs up a couple of steps. He is there, and the inning comes to an end, but the Blue Jays have cut into the Phillies' lead. They've reached Cliff Lee for 2 runs. It's a 4-2 Philly lead after the 5. 2 game. Reyes has settled down nicely after that rough spot in the second. All Philly runs came in the second inning. Ben Francisco had a good series. Single, drove in a run, and scored in that second inning. Big swing, and he fouls it off. In that second inning at bat, boy, he had a nice short compact swing, drove it into center field to pick up the RBI.
Can run a little bit. He's got some stolen bases. That ball right off the glove of Bautista.
Enough time to recover, and that's the quickness that Jose has said is going to be a challenge. That ball gets on you in a heartbeat.
And the athleticism that he shows. This ball hooking right at him. Tries to short hop it. No panic. Stays right under control and grabs it with his bare hand. That's the key right there. Smother it. You don't pick it up. Pick it up with your bare hand and make the play. How many times have you seen infielders try to pick it up with their glove and they drop it? Yeah. Try it again. They drop it.
Yeah, you have one chance to pick it up cleanly on a play like that. And Bautista did the right thing. Dominic Brown 1 for 2. Trying to work him away and miss that outside corner.
Just not biting at that breaking ball that Reyes has. Make him reach for that ball.
At the bottom of the strike zone. Dominic Brown, just 23 years old. Played in 35 games last year with the Phillies. Good spot. Reyes got the fastball where he wanted it.
And respectable numbers so far this year for a young player against left-handed pitching. Dominic Brown about 275, which I think is respectable for a young player. Just getting to know the league.
Big bouncing ball to second. Brown's retired, 2 outs. Beautiful day at the ballpark and enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone. Pathways to Education Canada. Great opportunity to sit front and center here at Rogers Center, enjoy a beautiful afternoon and watch some big league baseball. Carlos Ruiz. Couple of hits today. You and I were both a little bit surprised. We came to the ballpark, looked at the Philly lineup, and Ruiz was in the lineup for all 3 day games.
Yeah, Iron Man. All 4 games. They played 4 in a row again. Day games. But pitchers love throwing to him. And he's having a great series. Now with those 2 hits, he's got 5 hits in this series. And he's handled that pitching staff very well.
Backdoor breaking ball. That's 102 pitches now for JoJo Reyes. 255 average with those 2 hits. That's Sean Camp loosening up. Pitch. You can hear the crowd into it as they're questioning Ed Hickox in his strike zone.
Yeah, and a couple of the Blue Jays starting towards the dugout. This one is up. You see Reyes giving it a double look, thinking he had the strikeout.
And Ruiz is on for a 3rd time. That's a tough walk, that number 9 hitter, even though Ruiz has a couple of hits. And now the number 9 hitter, will be Wilson Valdez.
Well, especially after you got ahead with a couple of strikes. And you just need to make a pitch to get him out. Just misses a couple times and then ends up walking him. This is the guy that you would like to have lead off next inning.
Big swing. Valdez way out in front. Valdez has done a good job filling in for the Phillies. Valdez played 31 games at second base when Utley was on the DL.
Saw him at shortstop the other night when Jimmy Rollins DH'd for the first time in his career. And now he gets Polanco off his feet. And he'll make his fourth start at third base this afternoon.
Bautista takes the short hop. Guns down Valdez. Jojo Reyes has regrouped nicely. After a rocky second, he has kept the Phillies in check. Received more votes for the All-Star game than any player in Major League history, and this is why.
Yeah, look at all of the ranks in the American League for Bautista. The home runs, home base percentage, walks. I mean, he's doing it all, and that's just from the offensive standpoint. Defensively, I think he's been one of the best right fielders with his 8 assists. They've now moved him into third base, and he looks very comfortable over there. Jose Bautista having a great first half.
Trying to get something going here in the 6th against Cliff Lee. He is yet to reach base. Takes a first pitch curveball. Taking all the way. You can see he straightened up, just wanted to look at one. And sure enough, Cliff Lee threw a strike. Every pitch has a purpose. One pitch is connected to the next.
And you can watch it from at bat through at bat. He goes nice and soft early and then straightens him up with a fastball. Goes right back in there with a cutter.
But that came after a high fastball, same part of the plate. Little late movement, hoping that Bautista would think fastball.
A little bit over aggressive and jams himself, but Bautista's got those 70 walks for a reason. Very disciplined at the plate.
Bounced foul. Lee wanted that ball back. It's rare that you get a baseball back like that every time there's a ball in the dirt. Now Bautista's not going to let him keep it. And change baseball, but every time a ball hits the dirt at home plate, catchers just offer the ball to the umpire. They know they're going to take it out of the game, but it's rare a pitcher gets a foul ball back, and Lee wanted that one. Bautista doesn't miss a thing. Two and two. Blue Jays trying to get something going against Cliff Lee. 2 runs on 4 hits. Lee has a 4-2 lead here in the 6th. Base hit left field. Dudesons. 4 Finnish guys who take extreme comedy to new levels. The Dudesons, crazy humor and insane action. Weeknights at 8:30 Eastern and Pacific on OLN. OLN is now available in HD. Check out the Dudesons.
Tell you, the Blue Jays have made Cliff Lee work this afternoon. They only have 5 hits and he hasn't walked anybody, but they have made him work.
Little flare down the left field line and dropping him. It's a fair ball. Bautista on his way to third. The ball is bobbled by Francisco. Now they throw it away. Francisco cost the Phillies a couple of bases. Bautista had stopped at second base once he saw Francisco got to the ball in fair territory, and on the play, Land alertly moves into second.
There was some English on that ball, so a tough one to handle for the left fielder, Francisco. The at-bat, they try to go inside, but he fights it off and just dumps it down the left field line. This ball is slicing away from Francisco, and you can see he just can't pick it up. And Jose Bautista had stopped between second and third, had thoughts of going first to third, but when he came around second, he saw where he was, stopped, then read it, and gets himself into third base.
Then Francisco has been charged with an error on the play, allowing the base runners to move up. Juan Rivera. Rivera has struck out twice on the same pitch, a high fastball up and away. Fights it off, fouls it into the seats.
And he's thinking about getting him over and getting him in with one swing against Lee. Second and third, nobody out. It's an easy RBI. But you got to think about one step further. Let's see if you can get Adam Lind to third base with less than 2 outs.
Get him in, get him over on the same hit. Again, that high fastball. He knows how he wants to attack Rivera. It's up.
Up. And the last time it was up and away. So we've been talking all afternoon about Lee. Every pitch has a purpose. That one was up and in. Let's see where they go to try and get the strikeout now.
Fights it off into center. Bautista goes back and tags, and Victorino falls down. Bautista comes in to score. And Victorino just kept running and running, and then he stumbled and might have hurt himself.
I think he hurt his ankle as his spikes got caught in the AstroTurf here. He also had a play on Adam Lind at second base, who read base hit off the bat of Rivera. That could have been a double play. But Victorino runs it down, and when he was thinking about going home, his spikes caught right here. Catches it about waist high, looks to throw it in, and gets caught right there and just falls down.
Now you could see he caught his toe and turned his ankle before he fell down. That left foot gets twisted, knocks him to the ground. The ball comes out of his hand, and you're right, Adam Lind was a dead duck at center, at second base.
He was almost to third. He read base hit off the bat of Rivera. But Victorino, an excellent center fielder. He's won 3 Gold Gloves out there. Runs it down. Thought he had a play up Bautista at the plate, and when he wound up the throw home, that's right when his front foot on his crow hop got caught and he went down. Cliff Lee is going to go into the dugout and sit down as Victorino is helped up.
He couldn't leave the field, so the umpire, Ed Hickox, went over with him. He just wanted to go get a drink of water. Victorino now standing up, starting to move around.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
So Victorino is going to stay in the game. Bautista came in to score. And it's interesting how the scorer is going to score that. Lind ends up at second base. He stays there. He's making sure there's just one out, checking with Brian Butterfield. A lot of confusion on that play.
Sac fly. That's what I have written down for Rivera as Bautista tagged up and scored.
That's a little looper into right. Dominic Brown coming in now makes a shoulder high catch. Encarnacion is retired. Blue Jays have made it a one-run game. Sergio Reyes, we mentioned Reyes did such a good job after that ugly 4-run second inning, and he's held the Phillies in check ever since, and the Blue Jay hitters have gotten him back in the ballgame.
Yeah, a little bit here, a little bit there as they try to mount a comeback against Cliff Lee. JoJo's still on the bench. Mark Zepchinski is up throwing now.
And Sevia didn't want to go around that high fastball. JP's struck out twice this afternoon. There's Mark Zepchinski standing by. Cliff Lee has done a number on JP Arencibia, mixing up the pitches so effectively.
We might see that big curveball here.
That's what got him last time. Cliff Lee doesn't fall into any patterns. He strikes out Arencibia to end the sixth, but the Blue Jays tack on another run. They score a run on a sac fly by Rivera. Cliff Lee punches out Arencibia. It's a 4-3 ball game. Does a pretty good job going 6 innings, and 5 of those 8 hits came in the 4-run second inning. But other than that, JoJo kept the Phillies in check, and it's a 1-run ball game.
Yeah, 2 doubles and 3 singles in that inning. He's also had a couple of walks, and that's been it against this Philly team. So Reyes will leave after 6 innings. JoJo given 6 innings to the Blue Jays for the first time in 3 starts. And Mark Zepchinski will take over, and Zepchinski has been better of late also. And I think the whole key thing for Zepchinski in his last few outings, he's been able to command his fastball, throw it for a strike, and throw it early in the count. 2/3 of an inning the other night against Philadelphia, scoreless. So his job right now in the 7th inning is just halt the Phillies offense.
Top of the order, it'll be Rollins, Polanco, and Utley to face Mark Zepchinski. First pitch strike. That's always a determining factor on Zepchinski. When he pitches ahead, boy, He's tough.
Yeah, because he can turn over his fastball, he can sink it, and he's got that breaking ball that we've been talking about. Where he gets in trouble is when he doesn't have that fastball command. He just throws it up there and it slides out of the strike zone, or he gets underneath pitches and it moves off the plate. When he stays on top and drives towards home plate, he's tough.
Bouncing ball to third. Bautista. Plenty of time to get runs. Zebchinski gets his first batter. Well, Mark is so new to the relieving. He hasn't quite figured out, if he doesn't have control, how to get it back during the course of an inning.
Starter in the minor leagues. He was a starter when he first came up here. And as a starter, you might have a batter here or an inning there where you can get yourself into the flow of the game. You come out of the bullpen and you're a lefty specialist late in the game, you don't have that time. You got to come out throwing strikes right now. For the most part, he has done that. He's done a good job.
Encarnacion will go to the bag. 2 quick outs. Folks, right after the All-Star break, the Blue Jays will have another one of their theme nights. Dave Steve was a big star in the 80s, and the Blue Jays will have an 80s night. Yankees are in town, first of 4. The game starts at 7:07 p.m. Wear your best 80s outfit and win prizes. Call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations and pick up your tickets. Dave Steve, he was the man during the 80s, and the All-Star game coming up. Dave Steve, I believe, started 3 All-Star games.
Did you ever face him? When you
know, I don't really remember.
You're lucky.
Yeah, I have caught him all those years. I don't really, I didn't play a lot against right-handed pitching, so.
That's right.
I probably didn't play against him much.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You remember?
You would remember if you faced him, because that slider was wicked.
Oh, I used to hear guys cuss at him when they were hitting.
You could hear that ball coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, those seams were spinning so fast that you couldn't. Here comes that slider. 1-1 to Utley. Zebchinski has a different breaking ball than Perez or Reyes. His breaking ball continues to break and ends up out of the zone. It's a true strike-to-ball breaking ball. Utley drives it to left. Rivera's got plenty of room. Mark Zebchinski has a 1-2-3 7th inning. He turns things back over to the hitters. Rajai Davis has been hot. He'll start it off in the bottom of the 7th. The 7th inning, and he is truly a consummate professional.
Before every inning, he goes back behind the mound, and it takes one warm-up pitch. The reason he does that It's a higher slope from the back of the mound, and he started this when he was with the Cleveland Indians. He's getting the feel of going towards home plate as his momentum is taking him towards home plate. Does it between every half inning.
And gets his legs stretched out again before he starts his warm-up tosses. Rajai Davis goes after the first pitch, and he flies out to center. Davis was 2 for 2.
You know, and if you think about that with the higher slope in the back, it really gets that feel of going towards home on a downward motion.
Mentioned Cliff Lee signed with the Expos in 2000. Then he was traded, a big trade with the Cleveland Indians. Lee Stevens, Cliff Lee, Brandon Phillips, Grady Sizemore for Bartolo Colon. So when Colon was looking at free agency end of the season, the Indians had to move him. Boy, did they get a package.
Yeah, Tony LaCava, who is now with the Blue Jays, was one of the people instrumental in getting those players from the Expos organization.
John McDonald pops it up behind the infield. Utley is out, camped under it, and he makes the catch. 2 quick outs.
I remember when that trade was made, and everybody was saying, how could you trade Bartolo Colon? This was the people in Cleveland. Said, just wait. Just wait till you see these young kids who they got for them.
Lee Stevens was projected to be a big power hitting first baseman. That didn't work out. Brandon Phillips, of course, came up and established himself as a big leaguer. Later on went to Cincinnati. Grady Sizemore, an all-star. Pretty good trade. And then, of course, oh, by the way, Cliff Lee.
Yeah. How about a Cy Young Award winner in that trade?
2008 won the Cy Young for the Cleveland Indians. 22-3 with a 2.54 ERA. And just like we mentioned in the half inning, he runs to the field before anybody else, comes first out of the dugout, starts to think about the next inning, and you can see right now he's focusing on something to get him back into the right mindset. 0-2, 2 outs. Jammed him and popped him up. 3 fly ball outs here in the 7th. Cliff Lee has a quick inning. But more MLB. The Arizona Diamondbacks will be in Oakland to take on the Athletics. Newly named All-Star Gio Gonzalez will start for Oakland. He'll go up against the right-hander Ian Kennedy. Arizona Diamondbacks hanging in the National League West, trail the Giants by 3 games. Mark Zepchinski in his second inning of work at a 1-2-3-7. staying inside. Howard had a single right through the shift into center field his last time up.
He loves his interleague play also. He's hit the most home runs in the big leagues during interleague play. And that's why they are staying inside, so he can't extend.
There's a strike. 3-1 to start the 8th inning. Blue Jays have made it a one-run game. Single runs in the 3rd, 5th, and 6th. Broken back. John McDonald is over and makes the play. That ball went right over the mound.
And that's why they stayed in. Pitch him in, play him in. That ball right in on the hands of Ryan Howard, just boring in on him. Watch the action that Zabczynski gets. He can't extend. The barrel goes right by Mark. And the ball right out to McDonald. You see how he pulls his hands and he just can't extend through. That's why they pitched him in. He stayed in there.
Crowded him and got the desired results. Sawed him off. Shane Victorino. He finally got him out. Last time up, he popped up to left field. Drives this one down the right field line. Eric Thames on the run. He's not going to get there. The ball bounces up off the foul pole, and a fan grabbed it. Looks like Thames is going to be able to make a play. It skipped up and hit that foul netting above the fence, and a fan reached over from the seats and grabbed it. Another double for Victorino.
What a series Shane Victorino has put together now against the Blue Jays. 7 hits. He's been on base 10 times, and that will spell the end of Mark Zabczynski.
John Farrell's got a good matchup situation. Francisco, the right-handed batter, so it'll be Octavio Dotel on. Baseball coverage 24/7. Live chats during the game. Fantasy pools and great writing from PHI Davidi, Mike Wilner, and Scott Carson. In Scott's latest column, he ranks the top 10 pitchers ever to wear a Blue Jays uniform, and guess who's on top of the list? Roy Halladay. Catch up to Scott Carson's column on sportsnet.ca. Right-hander Octavio Dotel into the game. Ben Francisco was the scheduled batter. It'll be a pinch hitter to face Dotel.
His numbers have been so good against the right-handed hitters as Dotel enters the ballgame to face Francisco. Charlie Manuel has gone to his bench, and he will bring Raul Ibanez. Dotel pitched in the game yesterday, just a third of an inning. He's done a good job this year at stranding runners, inherited runners, keeping them from scoring. Veteran's been in this situation before, and nothing really phases him. He's stranded 21 of the 26 inherited runners that he has had.
Got a tough veteran hitter at the plate in Raul Ibanez. Ibanez did not start with the left-hander Jojo Reyes. Ibanez has a couple of hits in 5 at-bats against Dotel. Victorino at second. Ibanez, the regular left fielder, during most of the time, and he has just had 4 pinch hit at bats. He's 0 for 4.
Swinging the bat a lot better of late. Got off to a very rough start this year. Power numbers starting to come around. He had a streak earlier this year where he went 0 for 35.
Ouch.
We don't see that usually from a veteran hitter, somebody who has been around.
Ibanez was a late bloomer. He started with the Mariners and made it to the big leagues in '96, but never really got an opportunity to play every day. Now they've got Victorino hung up. John McDonald has the ball. They give it up early, and Victorino will be tagged out. Boy, what a good play by Dotel. Whenever you can get him out without throwing a pitch to the plate, that's a big advantage.
Yeah, thinking right along with Victorino. It's a big run out there for the Phillies. And the veteran Dotel is thinking right around with them as the inside moves, catches him off guard. I thought Bautista did a good job right here of running him all the way back to where he came from, closing the gap with Aaron Hill. And then the flip and tag sends Victorino to the bench.
Victorino caught stealing, and there's a fly ball to left field. Rivera got a late break. It's over his head, off the wall. Ibanez headed for second. Here's the throw. It's offline, and he'll get there. A stand-up double with 2 outs.
Right after the pickoff play. So that comes up at a very opportune time. Like a breaking ball stays with it. And Rivera did not read it off the bat right away. Lands over his head. Ibanez is at second base. And here we go again. Left-handed batter, runner at second.
Dominic Brown. Ibanez with the pinch hit, his first pinch hit of the season. Another fly ball into shallow left. McDonald is back. He's calling for it and gets there and makes the catch. So Dotel gives up a double, but nothing more. We have played 7.5. Cliffley in charge. Now it's time for an update. Here's Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio.
thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
Blue Jays will go on the road and they'll head to Boston. It'll be a 1 p.m. Eastern time start. That's the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. That's 10 a.m. Pacific time. The Jays on Sportsnet. First game of 3 against the Boston Red Sox. Brandon Morrow scheduled to start against John Lackey. Raul Ibanez, the pinch hitter, goes into left field defensively. Eric Thames drills it to center field. It is deep and gone. Number 3 for Eric Thames has tied it at 4.
Lee doesn't give up a lot of home runs, especially to left-handers, but this ball is smoked to center field. Thames not sure if the ball is going to get out, but then breaks it down after he sees the ball clear the wall over 400 feet from home plate. Third home run given up to a lefty by Cliff Lee.
Jose Bautista. Eric Thames looks right at home in the big leagues.
2 hits yesterday against Halliday. 2 more here this afternoon against Lee.
Boy, Lee is working Bautista up, as he did with Rivera. He got him on that curveball back in the 3rd inning. Takes the high cutter, and Bautista had a good look at it. He thought it was upstairs. He was taking all the way.
Tracking it. That just clips the zone.
High fly ball deep left field at the wall. Gone! Back-to-back home runs against Cliff Lee, number 27 for the All-Star. Jays have gone back-to-back.
Looks like he went back to the pitch that he got called for strike 1, a cutter, and Bautista was waiting for it. Hits it in the second deck. Home run number 27, and he breaks the tie. Wow.
Base hit center field. Adam Lynn's second hit. To give you an idea how unusual this is against Cliff Lee, when his club scores 4 or more runs, his record is 92-6.
That's where he sees the finish line and can finish it out. But right now, Blue Jays a couple of home runs and a single. They have Lee on the ropes as the pitching coach Doobie comes out. This pitch right down the middle. Lynn has his second hit of the afternoon. The most hits that Cliff Lee has given up all season long in a game is 10. The last time, April versus Cincinnati. He gave up 10 hits in 8 innings. Blue Jays have 9 this afternoon.
Jose Bautista, Eric Thames have become a potent 2-3 tandem. Michael Stutz, youngster, is ready. Nick Billmeyer, the bullpen coach, signaling that he's ready. Victorino coming over. Brown is there. Now Victorino calls him off. taking charge. Brown was camped under it, but the center fielder took charge. First baseman Edwin Encarnacion has taken it 0 for 3 so far. Bautista questioned the strike zone earlier in the game. Encarnacion thought that breaking ball was low.
And Lee went right back to that same pitch. That was the one that Jose hit out.
Drive to left field. Encarnacion. 2-run homer.
We saw this from Edwin Encarnacion the last series of the season last year, where he hit 5 home runs in the series against the Twins, where he's just locked in and everything he hits is right on the button, and this one certainly is. He knows he got all of that one. You could just hear it when he connects. Home run number 6, and the Blue Jays have knocked Cliff Lee out of the game.
Second time this season the Blue Jays have hit 3 home runs in an inning. The other time came back in April on the 25th at Texas in the 5th inning. 3 home runs and Cliff Lee has been knocked out of the game. The Blue Jays have stormed back. Waiting another first only from Rogers.
Cliff Lee hadn't given up 3 home runs in a game all season long. He heads into the 8th inning, and he's going to end up giving up 3 home runs in 1 inning. First, Eric Thames to dead center field, and then Bautista, a high arcing drive to left field that makes the second deck. And then the trifecta, Edwin Encarnacion, bye-bye, left center field, and he got all of it. 3 home runs, 4 runs across the plate. Blue Jays have taken a 3-run lead, and Cliff Lee is out of this game.
Cliff Lee staked to a 4-run lead after 2. But the 3 home runs have knocked him out of the game. Thames with his 3rd, Bautista 27th, Encarnacion 6, Michael Stutz, young right-hander, into the game.
What a job Stutz has done for Charlie Manuel's team. Strikeout pitcher. He has averaged over 9 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched in the big leagues. Comes after you with a good fastball, a good hard slider. Made his major league debut on April the 25th. What a weekend it's been for baseball here.
Been a great weekend, and certainly a couple of exciting games. Tough losses in the first 2. Aaron Sevilla strikes out for the 4th time this afternoon.
Picking up the breaking ball from Stutz. Pounded him hard early and now drops the breaking ball on him. But the excitement from the fans, the energy that we have felt in the building, and the Blue Jays come this close to sweeping the Phillies. They led late in all three of the games now.
Getting some clutch hitting here in this game in particular. Their 4-run 8th inning matched the Phillies' 4-run 2nd inning. Rajai Davis has had a good day. He tripled, singled, scored 2, stole 2 bases. Eric Thames, his hit streak now at 9 games. Davis stealing 2 bases. He hadn't had a stolen base since June 4th.
And he reaches 20 stolen bases by stealing 2nd and 3rd. First time the Blue Jays done that since 2008.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Down and away. Of the 7 relievers in the bullpen for the Phillies currently, 5 of them pitched in AAA this year. There's a drive to left field. Ibanez won't get it. It's off the wall. Davis heading towards second. The head first slide. He's in there. 3rd hit of the afternoon for Rajai Davis. Comes with 2 outs in the 8th.
He had a 4-hit game against the Red Sox back in May. And this is number 3. He's had a single, a double now, as he slides head first into second base, and he tripled his first at bat. He has scored a couple of runs. And it means a lot to this team when he is getting on base and creating runs with that great speed.
There he goes to third. Late throw. 21 steals for Davis.
7th Blue Jay player since 2000 to have a 20 stolen base season. No chance for Ruiz to get him. Watch the jump that he gets off of young Michael Stoops.
Popped up. Left side of the infield. Jimmy Rollins takes over. The shortstop makes the catch, but the Blue Jays have stormed back. They were down 4-0 as they hit in the second. They've had a 4-run 8th inning. Eric Thames got it started. His 3rd home run. Bautista, number 27, and a 2-run shot for Encarnacion. His 6th. consecutive shutouts, and the Blue Jays jumped all over him here this afternoon. 7 in the third, 10 hits, 6 earned runs in his first start in in July. He allowed 1 earned run in the entire month of June.
Yeah, with those 3 straight complete game shutouts, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Got off to a great start in this one, but the Blue Jays showing some power in that last inning. Thames, Bautista, and Encarnacion finishing it off.
Dotel got out of the 8th inning. Gave up a double to Raul Ibanez, and then got Dominic Brown to fly out to left. Corey Patterson is into the ballgame defensively. He takes over for Juan Rivera in left. There's a strike. We mentioned the Phillies have been so productive late in this series. They've scored 7 runs in the 7th, 8th, or 9th innings in the first 2 games. They've been shut out ever since the 2nd. Again, you have to compliment JoJo Reyes for the job he did. He didn't unravel after giving up 4 runs on 5 hits in the 2nd.
Yeah, it could have been bad for him, but he stayed together. He stayed within himself. Gave up a couple of walks and a couple of singles, and that was it, taking his team all the way to the 7th inning.
Dotel paints the inside corner and gets Carlos Ruiz.
That is the first Philly batter to strike out this afternoon, and it comes at a good time. First batter of the 9th inning, right after you have taken the lead. Fastball right down Broadway, and Ruiz can't pull the trigger.
Ross Glode, the veteran, will come on and pinch hit for Wilson Valdez with 1 out. Just to give you a further note on Cliff Lee and how dominant he was in June, he didn't give up a home run in the month of June. And in the 8th inning in his first start here in July, gave up 3.
Gave up 1 run the whole month. And again, he got off to a sensational start today. Struck out the side in the 2nd inning. After 4 innings, he had 7 strikeouts.
Big comeback, and certainly you have to really give it to the Jays for not folding their tents early. Trailing 4-0 against Cliff Lee. We mentioned Lee's record when his team scores 4 or more runs, 92-6. That's popped up. John McDonald, the shortstop, calling for it. Here's Patterson and gives way to the left fielder.
Well, the Jays have seen some good pitching in this whole series. Kendrick, and then Halladay, and then Lee. But they've put up good at-bats. They have battled every one of these good pitchers.
John Farrell addressed that before the game, talking about how his hitters have really battled. They had some good at-bats against Halladay yesterday. And obviously, they've had a lot of success against Cliff Lee. Phillies down to their final out. Jimmy Rollins. Strike.
Rollins a little bit better hitter from the left side. You see his .254 average. He hit .264 as a left-handed batter.
Called strike 2. $26,000 on hand at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays win it. Octavio Dotel strikes out 2 in the ninth. Eric Thames with his third home run, part of 3. Bautista Encarnacion hit 3 in the 8th inning to erase an early Blue Jays deficit.
What a series for the Blue Jays. Had a chance to get all 3 of them, but the Phillies came back late to win a couple of them. But the Blue Jays showed them that they could do the same thing. Scored those 4 runs late to beat one of the hottest pitchers in all of baseball.
Jays win the finale 7-4. Rajai Davis with another big hit. We'll be right back at it tomorrow afternoon from Boston. Stay tuned for Jays Connected. Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn will break it all down.